how to squeeze your partner with your vaginal muscles, part 3. And the fact that your partner will love this, by the way, is only the cherry on top, because squeezing is one of the vaginal gymnastics skills that is the most pleasurable for yourself. In fact, some of our students really just use it for self-stimulation. So this is why you want to learn this. And by the way, vaginal gymnastics is what I teach. I have an entire book on this that you can get in the first link in our bio. But let's get started, because today I want to give you just a bunch of different tips to really understand squeezing, because it is not a Kegel, as I explained in my first and second video. Watch those first to get some context. So one way that you can really quickly understand squeezing versus Kegeling is to do them back to back. So first start with a Kegel and then go with a squeeze. And if you do them, back to back in a few repetitions, you will really start to understand the difference. And one way that is really easy to tell the difference is when you release that motion. So like when you contract or you Kegel, when you relax, it's going to feel like going down, like a vertical motion, relaxing your muscles down. Whereas when you squeeze, when you relax your muscles, it's going to feel like your walls, your lateral walls, are going back into position horizontally. The second tip is kind of a weird one, but if you do this on the toilet, just on the toilet for some reason, because you have a lot of stability and the soles of your feet are on the ground and you're really stable, and you have basically this empty space beneath you, it's actually really easy to feel the squeeze and that pressing and flexing sensation that we talk about in the previous 2 videos. So that's another interesting tip. Number 3 is be very patient with yourself, because at the beginning, squeezing is going to feel very, very subtle. So Kegeling, we do contracting or Kegels really normally throughout our lives. So like, for example, if you're doing a squat, sometimes you Kegel. When we orgasm, sometimes we Kegel or we contract our muscles involuntarily. When we try to hold in our pee, we Kegel. So this contraction of our pelvic floor muscles is actually quite normal for us. But this flexing or pressing of your lateral walls of your vagina, that's not that common. It's quite subtle at first, and it's going to feel really like you're not doing much, which brings me to my next point, which is use your fingers inside of you. So my previous point is be patient with yourself, keep practicing and doing them back to back and on the toilet. And my next tip is use your fingers inside of you, because if you have your fingers inside of you, you can really tell the difference much more clearly. Because if you do it on your partner is just going to love everything that you do in terms of vaginal gymnastics, and they're not going to be that useful in terms of understanding the differences. They're just going to be like, oh my God, baby, this is amazing. And that's not very helpful for you who wants to understand all the different exercises. So when you squeeze, you're going to feel like your walls are slowly pressing against your 2 fingers, slowly wrapping them up. Whereas when you contract or you Kegel, you're going to just basically feel them squeeze and sucked inside of you really quickly. And the final tip is when you squeeze, you're going to get aroused, because you're basically pressing against your G-spot.